Hey everyone, it is our lunchtime beauty break. I am Jillian and I am the artistry advisor with Laura Geller, and today our topic is going to be foundation. But before we start, I'm excited to tell you that I got out of my horse and buggy and I actually joined Instagram, so I'm very excited about that. Don't know how to work it, have like 4 posts, I'll get there. But I'm at Jillian Brand Artistry, so yay, 2016, I'm very happy to be here, thank you. So let's talk about foundation. Please send in your questions. I will do my best to answer what I can. And through the course of the day, we're going to have our social media team answering all your questions. So send in those questions as we go, and we will do our best to answer every single one of you. So Laura Geller makes several foundations, but I want to break it down into a few things for you. Number one, I want to break it down before we go over each one and what the difference is and what you should be looking at, is really finding your perfect color. You know, it's 2016 and there's no reason that you can't find your perfect color foundation. And foundation is so incredibly important because I look at it like, if you're making the bed, you're not going to just put the blankets right over the mattress top, you have to put the sheet over it. So even if you have a great mattress, like you have great skin or whatever it might be, or you don't love foundation, you're doing yourself a little bit of a disservice because that little smooth layer will make everything absolutely gorgeous and even better. So first of all, let's talk about the color. Number one way to find your perfect color is really, it's old school. You need to just go into your favorite Ulta, go to a beauty advisor, and have them swatch it here. Have them help you because the color has to disappear into the skin. It's as simple as that. Oh, here we go. Here I go with the hands. I'm going to start knocking things down. Oh, why am I set up so tight today? Okay, let me get back in. All right. So if you go into the store, the beauty advisors would be so happy to help you. Now, here's the thing. If your neck and chest is red and darker than your face, what you need to do is go up another shade. It's in between here and here you're going to match. Use that foundation and then use bronzer to like blend that in. That's a problem for a lot of women, so I hope that helps. The other thing is if you're going into the drugstore to buy a foundation, I have found in my experience, because I buy foundation from everywhere, that they tend to run a little bit lighter. I don't know why, that's in my opinion, but maybe if you're going into the store and you're not getting help and you can't open the package, make sure, number one, that it can be returned, and number two, maybe shift up a shade. I think that's really helpful. So definitely old school, swipe it here. If it blends in, it works perfectly for you. Number two is you really got to prep that skin. So we want a clean skin that's not overly wet. So really there's only 2 ways of doing that because you can't put makeup on a bone dry skin. Your skin has to be prepped. So you can either use your moisturizer, but really wait 5 minutes for it to sink into the skin, so all that's left is that layer of hydration on the skin, not like the wetness, because everything will slide off if you do. Or you can go to, like my go-to is one of the multi-purpose primers that are out there. I use Spackle because that's Laura's multi-purpose primer. I like the SPF 30, and the beauty about her Spackle is that it really does glide and it's very thin and it's not heavy and it dries very quickly. But if you don't have access to that and you have a multi-purpose primer, just go for it. So we have your right color. We're going to prep that skin, make sure it's clean and not too wet, not overly wet. That's no good. Application. Okay. Here we go. If you want a little application, if we're going to deal, like, let's say we're talking with a liquid, I want you to use your fingers. A little bit, start at the center, literally start at the center here, a couple of dots, and blend out and just do circular motions to move it in and just to get it into the skin. That's going to give you a beautiful light coverage. If you want more, you know what? Old school, go to it, use your sponge. And what you can do is, once you pump your foundation onto the skin, you can really press it into the skin, and that is going to give you a much fuller coverage if you use a sponge. Then to get an airbrush look, there's 2 things I want to talk to you about. One is my trick that I love, is I actually use a powder brush for foundation. This is my favorite one that we make at Laura Geller. It's a 2-tone brush. It's a little stiffer on the bottom, a little looser on top. So what I like to do is I like to take, and we're going to talk about the foundations later, this is just application. Just take a couple of dots like this, right? So take it from, you can go dot from here onto your skin, right in the center, always the center, that's where most of the discoloration is. Take this powder brush and then you're going to do this. Airbrush, airbrush, airbrush. And as it starts to dry, what you'll see is it's smooth, it's clean, and you get a really soft, I don't know if you can see that in the camera, a soft, natural coverage. So I always love to use a powder brush that's a little stiffer to get a really beautiful airbrush look. And you can also do that over the eyes, like just go over everything. Concealer, I always do after foundation, but let me give you a little trick because like today I didn't even put concealer on. What I did was I took a little of my under eye moisturizer, and then I take a little of the foundation and I mix them together, and then I use that underneath here to get a much more sheer look. Because you know, sometimes you want a full under eye coverage, which is great, and sometimes you just want it to look a little cleaner. And what I love today is that a lot of the younger starlets, it's so old school, the word starlet. I love the word starlet. They don't mind embracing that little bit of darkness under the eye. It's very real. It kind of leans into the no makeup look. So definitely try doing that. A little moisturizer, a little foundation, and then tap it out. And then you come to your finish. There's a couple of things. If you want to do a radiant finish, which is great, you can finish with the Filter Finish setting powder or any radiant setting powder that you have. Obviously, I love this one. This is so popular for us because it gives a really clean look. Again, soft. We're setting the makeup. We're not trying to get cakey. The other one that personally I don't leave home without and I use on every set, every shoot I go to is the Matte Maker. It's an invisible setting powder. So if you have an invisible setting powder at home, use that. But again, dust very lightly. It's going to look too full if you really get in there and you're really just going too heavy to buff it all out. We want to keep it super clean. Then oh, you know what? I forgot a really good tip. Let me just go back on something. Marissa Rudolph is our national makeup artist for Laura Geller. And she talked about, after putting her foundation on, wetting the sponge. You can use a little bit, we have a spray spackle, or you can just use a little bit of water. So if you go back and you put your foundation on, like with the airbrush that I showed you, and then press it in with a little bit of a damp brush, it really shears it out. So again, Marissa, thank you. She is our national makeup artist. You can find her at Ulta. She's a pumpkin, I love her. So anyway, having said that, when you finish off your entire look, I can't live without a puff. I mean, to me, this is the best makeup weapon you could own. Because when you're done putting your foundation on, when everything is said and done, you just pick up a puff. You don't even need any powder, and you just go over everything. It makes everything look smoother. It blends your lines in together. So it's the good job, nothing on there. So I really blended well this morning. So you just want to press, 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 and you'll be done. So now that I walked you through those steps, what I really want to do is, so I don't forget, I always keep notes, walk you through the various types of foundation that Laura Geller makes. And if this can help you a little bit in your choosing process. So number one, I'm sure you know, and if you don't, you're going to be really excited with this, because this is our most popular foundation. This is our iconic Balance and Brightening Foundation. Now, if you take a look at this, see all the swirls that are in here? This is a color correcting foundation. Laura was the first. 30 years ago she did this foundation, actually. And it's a blend of 6 different cream pigments. They start their lives as creams, and then they're baked on terracotta tiles, which I'm sure you've heard her say. And what that does is it helps it retain the moisture, so it's this really creamy, soft finish. So Balance and Brighten is for color correcting. It also gives you a light, really sheer to fuller coverage depending on the brush. The brush for this one that I recommend, or really any powder that you're using, is go with a kabuki brush that's adjustable. So if you have a powder at home that you love and you just want a light coverage, you're just going to go across it like that and just everywhere. But if you want to do something heavier, I want to say heavier, let's say fuller, a fuller coverage, you tighten that brush and you get right in there, and then you just spot coverage everything. So whether it's Balance and Brighten or it's your own powder foundation, really go for a kabuki brush that you can play with. So Balance and Brighten. Color correcting, if you want color correction, because a lot of us are in different shades, even, you know, can be more uneven here, more blue. I get very red around the nose. This corrects that for you. It's an auto-correct. It's also a really light, pretty, portable coverage, not too heavy. So that's Balance and Brighten. Then we have, I'm going to go to, let's do Double Take next. All right, so this is for my dual finish girls. Now, you know, from everyone that remembers the 90s, dual finish was the thing. But this is a very modern dual finish. This is actually a wet, dry, baked formula, so it's super, super creamy. And it does two things. Number one, it gives you medium to like full out coverage. Like if you want that full, beautiful coverage, you want to go to double take. You can also use it wet and dry. So if you use it dry, you get a really nice matte finish. If you use it wet, you get fuller coverage that's, if I can explain this right, it's a little dewy, but it's still matte. So it's a dewy matte, just meaning it's not flat at all, but you're not going to get full-on radiance. It's really pretty, and it's great for those gals who like something that has much more coverage to it, and you like that dual finish kind of vibe. Just want to show you because there's, here it is. So underneath each one is the mirror, which, fabulous. And then you have the, oh my gosh, right in my head. No, I know, my girls are going, it's a sponge. I know it's a sponge. I'm remembering the side, which does what? So, sorry, it's the white for wet, and then it's the pink, so I'm going to start giggling now. It's the pink for dry, which I'm going to turn red when I giggle, which is, so if you want to do full coverage dry, go to the pink. If you want to go wet, you use the white side, so that'll keep it nice and clean for you. And it always goes back to its original body, so you won't get it, you won't get that hard finish on top. So again, balance and brighten, color correcting, sheer to a fuller finish, double take, medium to full, matte coverage that's wet and dry. Then there is one that's only on QVC, balance and glow. I love balance and glow because it does everything that balance and brighten does. It is a blend of 6 color correcting pigments, but this one is what I call it's like a code cracker. So Laura's Italian Artisans figured out that 10% radiant pigments would give your skin a beautiful glow without making it look too shiny or like you were using a glow powder. So I know it might be hard to see here, but what it does is it color corrects, it evens out the skin, and it just gives this really soft radiance. So if you want a light to slightly full coverage, not too heavy actually, it's really more of a light medium, but you want that radiance on your skin built in with color correction, balance and glow is fabulous for that. Then we have Baked Liquid Radiance. Okay, so Baked Liquid Radiance is our only liquid, well, right now it's our only liquid foundation that is baked. It is so beautiful. It is so highly reviewed. If you look at the ad campaign that we did, I think this is a year and a half ago, that's what I used on set, was all Baked Liquid Radiance. So the thing about this foundation is that it is this silky, creamy, has a luminous, dewy finish without being too heavy. So you can get from a sheer coverage, like I was talking about airbrushing it before, to, sorry, I opened it the wrong way. There we go. It's quite simple. So you can get from a very easy, light, sheer coverage, which is how I wear it, and I'm wearing it today, but you can build it to a fuller coverage. This one also leaves the skin dewy and radiant. So if you're looking for a liquid that doesn't leave your skin looking heavy and really moves and is creamy but then has that beautiful finish, this is the way that you're going to want to go. So then we have the shade finder. I want to show you this. It would probably take too much time to go over everything, but I'm going to go over just one of them in Balance and Brighten. But if you go to laurageller.com, there is a shade finder there. Not only is there a shade finder, but what they have is something that, for instance, if you wear, I don't know, let's say porcelain in Balance and Brighten, and you want to try the baked liquid, it will show you the color that works for you, which is great because the names are a little bit different in how they connect. Balance and Brighten, we just added a couple of new colors, but I want to just tell you what the colors are first. Porcelain is, you know who you are, alabaster, that doll-like complexion, super, super sheer. Fair is if you have a little bit of warmth in your skin, but you're not quite almost porcelain, but you're just a little bit warmer. Then we have a new shade, Light. Light is, you know when you're not quite medium, and you're like, oh, but everything else is too light, everything is too, like, just, that looks ashy on your skin? That's where we created Light. Technically in the winter, I would wear Light. Then we have Medium. Medium is a true medium color. Golden Medium is just a little bit more golden than medium, so if you tend to have that kind of, I want to almost say that Jennifer Aniston kind of skin, that's perfect. Sand is if you are Not quite a tan skin tone, but you certainly are darker than golden medium. Tan is for that rich, dark Mediterranean, rich, dark olive skin. Deep is for a cocoa complexion, and then toffee is one of the new ones, which is a warm, rich, deep cocoa color that is so, so pretty. So I'm really proud to say that there's 3 new shades in there, so there's a huge expansion. So, like I said before, it's 2016, you should be able to get your right foundation color. So, again, if you have any questions, send them in. But basically, it's all about a clean, beautiful, fresh skin. You've got to have a good foundation. Keep it fresh, keep it soft, and everything else will fall into place. And I thank you. And if you have any ideas for Lunchtime Beauty that you would like to see, we're going to kind of do this as an ongoing series. Any questions, any ideas, anything that you want to see or hear, just let us know and we'll see what we can do.
We do have some questions.
Questions?
She wanted to know, with red undertones, can she wear a peach blush?
With a red undertone?
Yeah.
Yeah, so here's the thing. If you have a reddish undertone, this is really with any canvas, you have to blank it out first. So what you want to do is get a foundation that's clean and evens out that red. It should be just a sheet that matches you all the way down. Once you do that, you put any color on top of that. You could even put something with a much, pinker tone on top of your pink because it's been masked out. So yes, absolutely with a red undertone, if your foundation is on point and soft, go ahead and throw a beautiful peach on that.
Okay, another one for you. Tracy's asking, she's looking for a full coverage foundation but doesn't want something cakey.
Okay, fair. That's me too. I happen to like something with a little bit more of, maybe a little bit of luminosity in it. So I would say if you like a little luminosity and you want full coverage, I would do baked liquid, and then you can put it on, let it dry, and then put another layer on. It's not going to get cakey, it's not in the nature of the foundation, but it does leave a dewy finish. If you want full coverage without dewiness and you just want a matte finish, then go to double take. Double take is very easy, dry, you put it on, you use the sponge, and then you can just build it to where you want. So dewy full coverage, you can do Baked Liquid Radiance. Matte full coverage, you can do our double take.
And last one for you. Emma's asking, what finishing powder would she use with Balance and Brighten?
Good question. So, here's the thing. It's really about the finish you want. Because Balance and Brighten is going to leave you with a very clean finish. It's not radiant. It's kind of just very satine, if that makes sense. So the skin looks soft. So if you want a radiant finish on top of that, I would definitely go ahead and do Filter Finish, or you said setting powder, because I was going to go right for our Baked Gelato, like the Gilded Honey, all the loved ones, but they're more highlighters. So I would say do the Filter Finish Universal Setting Powder if you want a glow on the skin. If you just want it, really after that, you don't really need a powder, because Balance and Brighten kind of sets itself, if that makes sense. All right, awesome. Thanks, everyone. Great questions. We love it. And please write in and tell us what you'd like to see and hear. And thank you so much for joining me on our Lunchtime Beauty.